Good morning from the trail. Listening to the dawn chorus. It's just a lovely way to start the day, just like always. It's April 18th, and I have about 13 and a half miles to hike today to go into town. Yay! Front Royal, to be exact. And got to the shelter last night about 8, as I thought. 14 miles after having town food and feeling lazy are hard 14 miles after a while. But they are not harder than it was for Untouchable because, I'm worried about him. He rolled into camp about 30 minutes after I did, and I could tell was just hobbling. And his poor Achilles have severe, it sounds like, tendonitis. So much that he almost caught a shuttle and got off the trail just because they were in such pain. And the problem is his new shoes. It makes me sick. He waited so long to get these new shoes, and his mom sent him some Ultras. I'm assuming he gave her some direction on what to get. And I've been talking up Ultras. I mean, they're really popular on trail. But Ultras, trail runners anyway, or any Ultras, have very minimal drop in your heel, meaning that most shoes you have several millimeters of varying degrees of rise in your heel. But that's not great for your feet. It's better to be kind of more flat-footed, to mimic what it would be like if you didn't have shoes on at all, barefoot. And when you've been wearing shoes with an elevated heel all your life, and you go to a zero drop shoe, you're supposed to ease into it. Like, it took my feet and my body really about a month to ease into it. And I would walk like 10 minutes a day and 20 minutes a day, like really easing into it. And he just went from his Merrills, which he trashed, to 25 miles a day on these shoes. So I'm not sure how quickly that's going to recover. His goal is to make it to town today, see how he feels, get some other shoes at the outfitter. He wants to push on to get ahead of me in Harper's Ferry so he can rest there. My recommendation was to rest in Front Royal, because even shoes that have a rise that he'll switch back to are not going to solve the problem that exists now. So it's a mess. I hate it for him. He was in a funky place last night, rightfully so, and I was for him. So the trail junction markers are really interesting here in Shenandoah. They're these concrete pillars, and you have to really have good eyes to read them. I mean, like, I can zoom in on my phone, and this one's got good etching, but that one doesn't have a marking. But sometimes it's kind of hard to see them. So it's an interesting thing here in the Shenandoah compared to the Smokies. It has a wooden engraved signs, which I love. And you can also hike with a dog here, which is fascinating, because in the Smokies you can't. And you can also have dispersed camping here, or in the Smokies you have designated campsites. So a lot of differences. Shenandoah, I was told by the very kind owner of the outfitter in Luray, is the second national park in the United States behind Yellowstone. It was created for people in Washington, D.C. to have a place to recreate and to hopefully foster an appreciation for public lands and the natural world. So I thought that was cool. I did not know that. I am about, 5 miles from reaching the end of my day, and just a couple from reaching the end of Shenandoah. Thinking about Untouchable constantly, just anxious for him. I didn't take a lot of footage the rest of that day. I was kind of in a sad place about Untouchable, worried about his feet. But I went to the post office first once I hitched into town successfully by a couple who maintains a shelter on the trail not too far from the trailhead. After I did that, I went over to the hotel to explode my pack and dry everything out. and get things ready for the next day. Next up, I explored the fun town of Front Royal. I got some nachos at Poppy's restaurant, which I never thought I would finish. They were huge, but of course I did. Next up, I got a latte at a place just a few blocks away, and it was one of the best lattes I've ever had. The murals in town were really charming, and it spoke to my bird-loving soul. The outfitter was great. It had this beautiful mural right outside it, but the crown jewel of this outfitter was base camp behind it. It adjoins the brewery, and hikers can go there for free and do their laundry, take a shower, just rest and relax and rejuvenate before getting back on trail. I really loved Front Royal. Waynesboro gets a lot of attention as being the best trail town, but Front Royal to me was an overall friendlier experience. That night, I hit Spelunkers for one of the best burgers I've ever had in my life and some homemade custard to top it all off. My walk back to the hotel was really peaceful. This town has a lot of charm at night with all the older homes, with the lights glowing from the inside. I especially love this one. Interestingly, my new Ultras had come in the mail that day, and it made me sad to think how successful they've been for my feet in comparison to poor Untouchable. So I was grateful that I knew these would work well for my feet, but worried about my friend who decided to make it into Front Royal, get some new shoes, and then keep hiking that day.